Hello, peeps. It's the Hillbilly Halfwit. How are you all today? Well, this is going to be a big one. Um, I saw something earlier on, and it sort of made my brain work. And everybody knows I got a weird way of looking at things. And it's Gaza's alternative budget of how to fix the UK's problems in changing one single law. Now, what started this off is when a lady journalist asked one of the top Biden officials, why can't the government create money and not borrow it? So what I mean by this is, she said, the government always borrows money off banks, and then we pay interest on the money we borrow. And the banks only create this money from thin air, so we have to invent the money that the bank lends to the people in this country. And he couldn't answer the question because she was right. So I thought the same thing. So I've gone into this now, and I think I found a way. If we changed one law, how you could make all our electricity be free in the UK. I know it sounds bizarre, but have a listen to this. See what you think about just a small Welsh farmer, a hillbilly halfwit, has come up with. So please comment, rate, and subscribe, and have a look at my budget compared to what the chances can be. And mine is very possible it could happen. So here we are. Here's the title: The Big Lie, Britain's Always Skint Until It Isn't. Now, before I start this, what I'm saying that they can do here has happened. They did it during COVID. They basically printed money and didn't borrow it off the banks. And as you'll see here now. So this is not far-fetched. This has happened 5 years ago. So here we are. Introduction, the problem. Every time you switch on the news, some politicians tell us we can't afford to fix the roads, rebuild hospitals, or pay better wages. There's no money left. But here's the thing. The UK makes its own money. It's not gold-backed. It's not borrowed from anyone else. It's created by the Bank of England out of thin air. So how can a country that literally makes its own money be broke? The answer, it isn't. It's a system designed to keep the people short of money while keeping the banks full of it. How the system really works. Here's the short version. 1. The government says it's short of cash. 2. Instead of creating money itself, it borrows it from private banks. 3. Those banks don't even lend real savings. They create new digital money out of thin air. 4. The public then pays interest on that borrowed money through taxes that didn't exist. So we have actually given them the money to borrow to us that never existed before. We're paying interest on money that never existed before, that the UK government created for them to lend to us. This is real, people. I'm telling you, this is real. Let me read that again. Number 4. Now let's read that whole thing again. Number 1, the government says it's short of cash. Number 2, instead of creating the money itself, it borrows money from private banks. So the money that it's borrowing from them private banks is invented out of thin air, and the government invented it out of thin air. 3, those banks don't even lend real savings. They create new digital money out of thin air. 4, the public, us, then pay interest on that borrowed money through taxes that doesn't exist. This is a supercomputer telling me this. This is what happens, people. So the rich get interest payments, the banks get guaranteed profits, and ordinary taxpayers get the bill for money that never really existed in the first place. It's a loop that keeps the public poor and the financial world rich. Why they don't fix it? If the government just created money directly, what's called sovereign money, then we could build infrastructure, power stations, and homes with zero borrowing costs. zero interest rate. But doing that would take away the financial sector's main source of power, controlling who gets the money, when, and for what price. So instead of creating money for public good, they create debt for private gain and then tell us to tighten our belts. The COVID proof that we can do it. During the COVID crisis, they dropped the act. The Treasury quietly opened its ways to means account, basically an overdraft with the Bank of England. And the bank created new money to pay furlough wages, NHS costs, and business support. No borrowing from private banks, no bond investors calling the shots, just the UK government creating money to save the economy. And guess what? The sky didn't fall. Inflation stayed low at the time. The economy recovered faster than expected. So the proof already exists. The UK can create money out of thin air to fix its problems when it actually wants to. So it did it during COVID. It didn't charge any money on that, any interest on that money. What a law change could do. With one legal change, the UK could create debt-free money for national projects, build UK-owned power stations to give citizens cheap or free energy, rebuild roads, railways, housing, and farms with no interest payments to the banks. Keep the profits and the assets in public hands and not in foreign investors' hands. It's very simple economics. If we can create money to save the banks, we can create money to save the country. Conclusion. Britain is not broke, it's been managed to look broke. The problem isn't money, it's who controls the creation of money. Changing the law to use sovereign money for real work, and we can rebuild Britain without raising taxes or borrowing a single penny. Until then, every we can afford it speech you hear is just another way of saying we'd rather keep you poor than change you as the power. So that's a very simple thing I've just done there. And if we go back to here, people think that this is not real. They did this during COVID. All the furlough money and all the money that they spent was printed and not borrowed. And it's the same as they do for wars. It's funny how I heard this one journalist ask this and I realized there was something going on. So, what do you think of that? Now, this is the Hillbilly Halfwit, a little farmer from Wales. Way to fix UK finances with one law change. And you don't even need the law change. You could do the same thing as they did for COVID to pay for all the new infrastructure we need in the UK, all the farming we need in the UK, everything we need. And if you did it, for instance, just to projects to create infrastructure, because of the increased money that you'd make for it, for say you did all the roads up and it was quicker for everybody to go everywhere, you would create more money. If you did it for the nuclear power stations, they wouldn't have to be publicly funded because the money has been made out of thin air, and the way that it would be paid for is by the money that they get by selling electricity. So we'd still be paying for electricity, but we'd be paying for it we'd be buying our own power station back. So in the end, we'd own the power station, it'd be free. If you see what I mean, that's how it is. So instead of paying any interest, we wouldn't pay any interest. The country would own it all. Same with roads, same with any infrastructure. I was just thinking out loud. So the entire alternative budget from Gaza. So there we go. Please say what you think beneath. I just thought it was interesting. All the best, Gaz.